Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. The waters gathered together in one place, the waters of the ocean, and those in rivers, pools, and lakes, and which before their collection into those places had been sat on, moved, and impregnated by the Spirit of God, so that they could, as they did, by the divine order accompanied with His power, bring forth abundance of creatures next mentioned. The moving creature that hath life, an animal life of which sort of creatures, as that there had been none made. Vegetables are such as have vegetative life, were made on third day. But those that have a sensitive and animal life, not till this day. The fifth and the less perfect are lower sort of these, were first produced, even such as move or creep, as the word used signifies, which is applied to fishes as well as creeping things, because in swimming their bellies touch the water and are also close to it, as reptiles on the earth. And of these creeping things in the seas there are innumerable, as the psalmist says, Psalms 104, verse 25. Pliny reckons up 176 kinds of fishes, which he puts in an alphabetical order, and fowl that may flow above the earth in the open firmament of heaven, which according to our version were to be produced out of the waters also, not out of the mere water, but out of earth and water mixed together, or out of the earth or clay that lay at the bottom of the waters. And it may be observed of some fowls that they live on the waters, and others partially on land and partially on water. And as the elements of fowl and fish, the air and water bear a resemblance to each other, so do these creatures. Some fowls both fly and swim, and what wings are to the one, fins are to the other, and both steer their course by their tails, and are both oviparous, though it should seem, according to Genesis chapter 2, verse 19, that the fowls were produced from the earth. And the words may be rendered here, let the fowl fly above the earth, as they are in the Samaritan and Syriac versions, and in others. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 21. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. God saw that it was good. And God created great whales, which the Targum of Jonathan and Jerky interpret of the Leviathan and its mate, concerning which the Jews have many fabulous things. Large fishes are undoubtedly meat, and the whale being of largest sort. The word is so rendered. Ailanus, from various writers, relates many things of the extraordinary size of whales. Of one in the Indian Sea 5 times bigger than the largest elephant, one of its ribs being 20 cubits from Theoclus, of one that was larger than a galley with 3 oars, and from one Cratus, and Arthagoras, of one that was half a furlong in length. And Pliny speaks of one sort called the Balena, and of one of them in the Indian Sea, that took up 4 acres of land. And so Solinus, and from Juba, he relates there were whales that were 600 feet in length and 360 in breadth. But whales in common are but about 50, 70, 80, or at most 100 feet. Some interpret these of crocodiles, scale 29:3, some of which are 20, some 30, and some have been said to be 100 feet long. The word is sometimes used of dragons, and if it has this sense here, must be meant of dragons in the sea, or sea serpents. Leviathan, the piercing serpent, and Leviathan, the crooked serpent. Isaiah chapter 27 verse 1. So the Jews, and such as the Bishop of Bergen speaks of, as in the northern seas of 100 fathom long, or 600 English feet, and who also gives an account of a sea monster of an enormous and incredible size, that sometimes appears like an island at a great distance, called Kraken. Now, because creatures of such a prodigious size were formed out of the waters, which seemed so very unfit to produce them, therefore the same word is here made use of as is in the creation of the heaven and the earth out of nothing. Genesis chapter 1 and 1. Because this production, though not out of nothing yet, was an extraordinary instance of almighty power, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. That is, every living creature that swims in the waters of the great sea, or in rivers whose kinds are many, and their numbers not to be reckoned, and every winged fowl after his kind, every fowl, and the various sorts of them that fly in the air, these were all created by God, or produced out of the water and out of the earth by his wonderful power. And God saw that it was good. Foresaw that those creatures he made in the waters and in the air would serve to display the glory of his perfection and be very useful and beneficial to man. He designed to create. Some of the creatures described by the ancient must refer to the animals that are now extinct. Some of these may have been very large dinosaurs. Genesis chapter 1:22. God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And God blessed them with the power to procreate their kind and continued their species, as it interpreted in the next class, saying, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the seas. And these creatures do multiply exceedingly, and vast quantities there are of them in the mighty waters, though the consumption of some sort of them is very great. Our English word fish is derived from the Hebrew word fash, which signifies to multiply and increase. Let fowls multiply in the earth, as they did and continue to do to this day. Genesis chapter 1, 23 version. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. The sun now in the firmament, where it was fixed the day before, having gone round the earth about that in the space of 24 hours. And according to Kepler's, this was the 22nd of April, or as others, the 5th of September, and according to Bishop Usher, the 27th of October.